I got a Chrysler Specifica back. All right. Ooh, it smells really rich in here, really gassy. And it's not from that rich running Suzuki. This baby has a fuel leak, a major fuel leak. I guess it's mostly dried out now, but this gets all wet down in here. It drips like down here by this intake, right? And so this fuel rail connects right here. It runs around and makes a looping at the end and comes back to the other side, and it's all plastic. I think that hose that connects the two sides cracked, but I have to make sure first because it's a really expensive Mopar only part. So I'm gonna have to tear the upper intake back off of this, see if I can get the fuel system to pressurize. I don't know if I can with the scan tool or whatever, but then see where the leak is. All right, so I'm working on this Specifica, and it's got the big 3.6 in it. And I'll see if I can show you. That O-ring around that injector is leaking like crazy. I mean, it spurts it up out there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but there's a little blue piece of that O-ring sticking out. So that O-ring is bad. So I'm going to pull this fuel rail back up off of here, and I'm going to replace all the O-rings with brand new ones and seat them back on there. I mean, the old O-rings did not look bad one bit, but that one just must not have seated right, or it failed. But you turn the ignition on. This cycles the fuel pump when you first turn on the ignition, and it just sprays the gas out of there. In fact, I'm gonna set the camera up and let y'all see it. All right, so I'm gonna go hit the ignition. Not push on the brake, just hit the start button with the key. So it won't try to start, but it'll cycle the fuel pump. And yeah, she sprayed gas all over the place. So, wow. I'm going to go ahead and pull the fuel rail up and just double check that it's not cracked around there, and it looks like it is about O-ring now. But yeah, that started spraying fuel out on like crazy. The O-ring is just really loose right now. It doesn't look like it's too terribly bad or chewed up or anything. It was just really loose. It was pushed way down on it. I mean, I thought those O-rings were good. I didn't need to replace them last time. They look perfectly fine. This one's just a little loose, and these other ones are fine. We're just gonna go ahead and replace them all. They have them at Advance, the same ones that fit some kind of Ford F-150 or something. We're gonna go ahead and just get 8 of them because they come in packs of 4, and we'll put 6 of them on. It's only like $14 or something. That's gonna save them so much. This plastic fuel rail is hundreds of dollars if that would have been broken. So I'm really glad that's not broken. We should be able to clean it, you know, relube it, sit that back down on there, and hopefully this time it won't leak. This one didn't leak for a couple weeks and it just started. So I guess that's something to consider if you're doing this job. Just replace those O-rings while you have it apart. I'm not going to charge them a lot of labor on this. I'll charge them a little bit more. But I feel kind of bad because I probably should have went ahead and done the O-rings the first time. I was just trying to save them as much money as possible. And those fuel injector O-rings look good. Now, if I was doing this job again, too, I would not have pulled the fuel rail. I would have pulled the fuel line right here and just taken the fuel rail off with the injectors with the lower intake. Right? I would have taken these clips off of the injectors and taken it all off together. So I didn't really have to take the fuel rail off, although the book says that you do. But you wouldn't have to. So I would say leave this on the lower intake if you can. If you're ever doing this job, probably save you from having this particular mishap. I feel bad, it broke down on them. They had to have it towed here, It's just one of them things that happens sometimes when you work on cars. You look at parts and you say, they don't look bad. I can reuse those. They're perfectly fine and supple. But they were not fine. So we'll go ahead and get the new ones at Advance. I think they might still be open tonight. I might be able to go up and get them. Alright folks, I got a set of O-rings. I had to get them at Napa. I ordered, Advance said they had them in stock, but when I got there to all the stores, they couldn't find them. So I went to AutoZone and they said they don't have them except in like a town really far away. So I ordered a set on Amazon, but they wouldn't be here till Sunday. So I went to O'Reilly's and I ordered a set, and it said it could be here by 4:45. And I thought, sweet, 4:45 tomorrow. It didn't say a day until after I placed the order and put the order in. It comes back and says Monday. So I went over to Napa today and they had a set. These come in 4s because they're the same that a V8 F-150 Coyote engine. It's the same O-ring that takes. But they are listed for this. So I'm just going to get down here and peel off all these O-rings and put the new O-rings on. Lube them up really good. And slide my injector fuel rail down on there. And then we will try it out and see if it still leaks before we put the upper intake back on. Okay, I think they're all down on there. They fit a lot tighter that time. So, let's go do the ignition and see if it leaks any fuel. I'll have to cycle it a few times to get the fuel pumped up to it. But, yeah. Okay, I cycled it like 5 times. Gonna make sure there's no drips in here. And there is No, and it is completely dry. It should have fuel pressure up there by now. Yeah, if it had a leak still, it would have leaked by now. So. Okay, I got her all back together. I still have to tighten that. Hang on. Can't forget that. That's the last thing I got. This little air cleaner hose. You just tighten those hoses up like these airbox hoses up enough to make them clamp, and don't over tighten them. This is all on plastic, and this rubber hose, you can cut into it and create a leak. And then I think I have to plug the mass airflow sensor back into. Yeah, here. Okay, all right, I think that's it. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and give her a start. I gotta check engine light. Let me go see what that's about. I imagine that check engine light is because I turned the ignition off and on with all those sensors unplugged, but we'll go see. Okay, there we go. I'll get the little pocket diode gun out. We'll double click on the diode and we'll go to diagnose, and we'll go to Chrysler. My check engine light came on. And it's got a 16 pin connector. We're gonna automatically search for it. I'm gonna say okay. It's gonna communicate and try to find it. Okay. Now we're gonna go to system selection. No, I didn't want to do a system scan. Okay, I gotta let it do this. I accidentally hit system scan. Let's do a system selection. That's the downside of this tool. It takes forever to scan. There we go. Now we want to go to system selection and powertrain control module. We want to go to read fault codes and DTC information. Yeah, all of these things that I had unplugged. Right. All right. When I turned the ignition back on, all these things were unplugged, so it logged them all as codes. So we'll go. Clear fault code back here. Okay. Clear this fault code. Yes. Engine cannot be running. Turn key off. And leave it in the on position. I like how it tells you to turn the key off, but you have to push the button off. Okay, and let me... There we go, accessory mode, and we say okay. Clear it, the check engine light's out. Now we'll hit the brake, hit the button, and she starts back up, and she shouldn't have any lights. Alright. And I don't detect any fuel leaks, so hopefully it stays that way, with the new O-rings. I got the Chrysler Specifica done. I ran it for a while, no check engine lights came on, it ran fine. I topped off the oil, and it was just a little low. I just put a little oil in it, and I went and topped off the windshield washer fluid, and it's fine. It's not leaking fuel anymore. So how much labor did I charge to do that job the second time? I didn't charge any labor. I told him, like, if you can give me the $22 back for the O-rings, that would be great. But I'm not charging you labor, because I probably should have just replaced those O-rings the first time, and you guys had to go through that and have it towed. And, I feel bad, but, I checked the O-rings, and they looked like they were okay, but the new ones, when I put them on, they fit really tight, and the old ones were looser. So it did need new O-rings. And so he gave me a little extra and picked it up, and hopefully it'll be on the road for another 40,000 miles before it has another problem, But yeah, so on to the next one. I think I'm going to do my son's Honda next. And then I have an Equinox that needs the brakes and stuff. And my son's Honda needs real wheel bearings. His Acura needs an inner and outer tie rod end. My mom's car's got problems. It never ends. It never ends. When you can fix stuff, you're everybody's best friend. All right, folks. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.